Hey guys, it's Gina. I am working on catching up one load. I got a bit behind this month. I got back from Kansas and things got a little crazy. So today is the 16th and I have completed up to day 11th. So I have 5 layouts to get done today. That's my goal anyway. And for day number 12, the prompt was what you did for love, and I'm going to use this November 2012 card kit from Simon Says Stamp. I'm really trying to get rid of them in my room, and so I want to show you what came with the kit. This paper behind here did not come with the kit, so let me move that out of the way. So you got like a half of the basic gray button pack from Serenade, and I'm hoping that this camera angle is better. I rearranged my craft room. So anyway, you have this chipboard shape here with a hound's tooth on it. You got some doodle twine from Doodlebug in Beetle Black. Some basic gray stickers. And then some book pages. Some 8.5 by 11 cardstock in these colors here. And then I'm not sure who made these, who made the 6x6 pad. It actually kind of looks like basic gray Serenade. But I will confirm that. Oh, here, it's right on here. Yes, I think it is. Here is the 7 sheet, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to read here. Let's see what it says. Houndstooth, Doodlebug, basic gray. Yeah, so it is from the Serenade collection, the 6x6 pad, the 6x6 paper. So I'm going to try to use some of this up while and as I've been doing this, if I use the majority of the kit up, then I just go and put it in my stash. Because I have a bunch of this boxes that this all came in sitting in my craft room, and anyway, and this is the picture that I'm going to scrapbook. I've never scrapbook about the tattoo I got. It's my one and only, and probably my first and last. This is actually here's the tattoo here on my arm. This is actually sketched by the tattoo artist off of a card that my mom gave me for Christmas. So this is her handwriting, and so I put it on my arm, right like that. And the cool thing about it is my brother, the 20-year-old, who I call my son, my inheritance, I don't really call him my son. I normally refer to him as my inheritance. He got the exact same tattoo, but he got it on his left arm, and I got it on my right arm. So we went together and had it done, and I wanted to finally get that down. And it's a funny story because everybody's like, oh, your mom would be so, you know, honored. No, she wouldn't. My mother would be like, girl, you are dumb. Why did you do that to yourself? So it was funny when everyone was saying, oh, your mom would love that. No, she wouldn't. My mother wasn't a tattoo person, but her handwriting was so unique to her. And I just love that idea of getting her that tattooed on me. And I got that done in March of 2011. So I really like that I got it done. And I'm not a person who you would ever consider would get a tattoo, but it was one of the only things I could think of that I would permanently put on my body and not regret. So so that's the story. So that's what we're going to scrapbook today, and hopefully we can get all 5 of these layouts done today, and I will get my videos up. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey guys, so the first thing that I'm going to do here is just walk through and figure out which ones of these pattern papers I wanted to use on the layout. And I really wanted to use that chipboard circle, but that doesn't work, so we're going to have to save that and use it somewhere else. And then instead of layering my pattern papers, I really wanted to find a different way to use them. So I'm trying to make a background paper here, putting the 6x6 in a triangle, or diamond, I guess, kind of shape, to use them in a different way than I normally would. And the only thing that happens here that I'm a bit aggravated about, or I mean not really aggravated, but the thing that you know isn't so great is I didn't measure where these are sitting, so the corners are not even. The four corners of the layout aren't even, so live and learn, I suppose, but that's the way it is. So I'm going to lay them out and then I'm going to cut them off. And I'm using a piece of Basil black cardstock for the background. I'm just going to cut those corners off. There. And then I thought about using those triangles and putting it back together, like using them in the corners. But then I decided that I kind of liked it, even though those corners are not even, and that's a bit irritating to me, but oh well, what are you gonna do? They're cut now, so it's live and learn. So the backgrounds are a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? They're a bit busy, so I definitely wanted to layer some neutral or plain pattern paper, plain paper behind it so that the photo stood out. So I'm going to use my trusty little matting tool here, and I'm going to mat that photo. Yeah, I decided that's too long. That paper is too long. I don't want to cover up so much of that space, so I cut it down a little bit. But then I'm going to use my matting tool to mat the photo on this black cardstock. And the picture kept moving as I was trying to get that cut right, so I used some temporary adhesive to actually put the photo down on that black paper so that it wouldn't move while I was trying to cut it out. So I love this matting tool. The only issue is I'm still struggling with using it. So then I'm just going to take it off of that with the temporary adhesive and then put it back down in the center of that mat using permanent adhesive. So now that is matted, and I feel like it works much better that way. And then I'm going to use some of those triangles to fill in that space that's emptied when I removed that other piece of pattern paper, because you weren't going to see much of it, so I took it off. And I'm actually going to use it in a second. And here I am. I'm going to use this chipboard shape, but it doesn't end up working, so. And now here it is all about the embellishment. So now I feel like the back of the paper, the back page, what am I thinking here? The background of the paper is pretty set, and so now I'm just going through and figuring out how I'm going to lay the rest of this out. So. And I put that piece of black and black and craft, sort of like a stripe there. I put that there, but I don't. At the end, I either take it off or you can't see it on the final layout at all. And I'm just going through. I have some of these like thin paper scraps here. Thought maybe I'd use that, and then here's some washi tape. This is from Prima, and it's got letters on it, which I thought was significant. You know, it fit the theme of the layout well, because it is all about her handwriting, and that boils down to the letters. So I put that washi tape there, and still trying to figure out how I'm going to use that chipboard shape, and then that doesn't work out. So, and then I decide here that the patterns are kind of blending together, especially that the two greens. So I decided that I would just take my Zig Millennium True Black in '08 pen, and I would just outline all of the papers. And I'm sorry my head is in the way. I'm gonna have to figure that out. And believe me, when I did this, I was still in my pajamas. I still have my glasses on. Oh, I don't want y'all to see that. See, glad you could just see the back of my head. But anyway, I typically scrapbook very early in the morning before my husband gets up. So, and I don't take a shower or anything until he's up, because we have the bathroom is attached to our master bedroom, and I don't want to wake him up. by taking a shower or anything like that, so I wait for him to get up to do all that. So definitely scrapbooking with bedhead, which is why I try to keep my head out of the picture. And then I have these Prima flowers that I wanted to use. I've had them for quite some time. And then working on the triangle. And then I'm going to pull those buttons. And see where I'm going to use those. Then I think maybe one flower and not the three, because those flowers are rather big. So I'm using a Marvy punch to, yeah, I have to actually stand up and punch that. That punch is difficult to use. So I wanted a neutral kind of background, like a white background where I could write my journaling on. And then I realized that the story is the story's going to be it's going to be longer than what that little tag is. And here's some vellum shapes from Two Peas in a Bucket. I think they're from Studio Calico, and I'm just looking through, I have a set of drawers that hold just miscellaneous embellishments that are left over from kits or left over from packages, and I don't put them back because there's just not enough left to keep the whole packaging, so I just toss them in these drawers. And I was just going through those to find some more embellishment. And here's it's a paper foil border, so I'm going to add some silver to this layout and lighten it up a little bit. I think the silver, gives you a place to, I think everything is really dark, so the silver works really well. And again, I'm just going through those drawers to find some more pieces to embellish with. And now I'm looking through these are from Becky Higgins, these journaling cards I'm looking through here. They're actually from my Project Life kit because I'm looking for something that I could, ooh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. Holy cow. I told you I scrapbook early in the morning. I'm tired. I'm looking for something to, actually put the journaling on, and I wanted it to be light. I didn't want to go back to dark colors, so I'm using that. That's the Seafoam kit from Becky Higgins, and I'm just taking some journaling cards from there. And then here's one of those drawers that I tell you I just toss things in, and I don't do such a good job all the time of remembering that all of this stuff is there. So I'm just going through and pulling out things that match the colors of this layout that I may use. Here's another one of those drawers. So just things that, I don't know, I've cut out or they didn't get used on a project when I was working on them. So I just toss them in there. And then I always forget to go through them. It's like my scraps. I forget that they exist too. So I'm just going through. So I keep one, it's called decor, one is called chipboard, one is die cuts, and the other one is borders. And I have that shape there. I believe that's from Basic Gray, from one of their chipboard element sets. But I'm not 100% positive of that, but I'm pretty sure it's Basic Gray. And I don't know which collection that's from. But I think that, using that circle pulls the emphasis in on the actual tattoo and not my arm or something like that, or the busyness of the rest of the layout. So I liked that it focused everything there onto the picture. And so now, of course, I've adhered everything down, but then I'm like, oh, I got to layer this under there. So I'm pulling stuff up to put it under there. What kind of video would it be of mine if I didn't have that going on? And I'm really just not happy with that harsh line coming down the center underneath that chipboard element. So I'm really trying to make that not as noticeable. And then I decide, heck with it. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And I layered that piece of ribbon behind there. And I thought I was going to use this other chipboard element, but then that doesn't work. It removes the focus, I think, a bit from the photo. So, and now we're back to the flowers. Now that I think I have all this stuff laid out the way I want it, I'm going to use those flowers to put that triangle around that photo again. Everything back to the picture. And then we're, still dealing with the fact that I'm layering things underneath stuff I'd already adhered. So, and then here's that little tag that I cut, because then it was a very awkward transition from that flower to sitting on top of that frame. So I'm actually going to move that flower down a bit and cover up the end of that tab that you can see there when I go to actually adhere it. So I'm going to put that ribbon down. The adhesive didn't go on in the center there, and I just use my regular tape adhesive to adhere ribbon. I've never had it pull up yet, so. And then just layering these cards. Yep. Pull it up, put it down. Pull it up, put it down. And see, I noticed that awkward space at the bottom there, so I moved that flower down. I forgot the tab, but then I moved that flower down some so that there's no awkward transition between the pattern papers and the embellishment cluster. And I'm just going to use some glue dots to put the flowers down now that I'm happy with where they are laid out on the page. And then looking for if I wanted to add some more embellishment. And then this die cut has punch out pieces. As you can see, I'm punching out all of the chipboard, all these little pieces. And then I make a big mistake with these little pieces, but that's coming up. Yeah, so I wanted all those pieces to be punched out. So I'm just going through with my brad setter and just punching them through. And then I'm going to use some Tombow Mono multi-glue and just add some liquid glue to the back of that. I don't ever trust the adhesive that comes on chipboard shapes. I've had very bad luck with that. So, and then there's that awkward space between the ribbon and that silver paper. Here's where I wish I wouldn't have done this. So I was going to just add some of those pop outs that came out of that die cut to the bottom, to these corners, and then I looked at it and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. Unfortunately, I did it on two sides before I realized that I really don't like this look. So, and then because the glue's already down, I had to figure out a way to make it better, and I don't think that I was very successful with this, but oh well. Because here I'm gonna go, oh, I don't really like that. Well, first I'm gonna put this foil tape down there. And here I think is where I'm gonna pull them all off. Add some buttons to each of the embellishment clusters. I forgot about that step.